Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the Tome of Heroes, talking about the additional races and subclasses and spells and feats that we can find in this wonderful addition to our favorite tabletop game. Today, we're talking about a pair of sub-races that we find for the little folks from the player's handbook, the gnomes. Gnomes are one of those curious and, honestly, in my experience, very underplayed races. They are fantastic with their mental abilities, small and cunning, and there's a lot of good things to them. And the sub-races provided in the regular D&D, you've got a few options. Forest ones, rock gnomes, even deep gnomes. And of course, everyone loves the Sverfneblin. But today we're talking about two extras that were added in this book. And we'll get into the details of these extra sub-races in just a moment. But before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also, you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button. It's just below the video down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badges. And if that doesn't interest you, that's totally fine. Just watching the video, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff is a wonderful way to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. The first gnome subrace we're going to talk about well, before we get there, I should mention that these work off the basis that you have the main gnome race from the player's handbook. So +2 to your intelligence, small-sized creature, 25-foot walking speed, dark vision is there, the gnome cunning feature that gives you the advantage on your mental saves against spells and magical effects, speaking your common and gnomish as a language. It's all there, and you should consider that while you're building one of these two subraces. The first one is called the Shoal gnome, and these are basically coastal gnomes that live in like coral reefs and on the beaches and near the cliff faces of the water. The Shoal gnomes get a +1 to their charisma naturally. Charisma is the most common spellcasting stat in the game, as well as the pillar of the social parts of the game, the social interaction. I say it's a great stat, and for a +1, I give it an 8 out of 10. You also get the amphibious trait. This means that you can breathe both in air and underwater, and what good water-dwelling race wouldn't have this? I say this is a solid feature, 9 out of 10. You also have the aquatic beast affinity. This allows you to communicate simple ideas with beasts that breathe water. It gives dolphins and turtles as an example, but any animal that has a water-breathing ability can do this. The ideas are simple, so this isn't as complicated as speak with animals, but I think it's perfectly fine. I think that it could be handy in aquatic campaigns or just for role-playing. So yeah, I say 7 out of 10 for this one. And then finally, you have a swimming feature. This effectively gives you a swim speed equal to your walking speed. So 25-foot swim speed, that's fine. I mean, if you're going to be a water breather, it makes sense you'd be able to swim as well. Not sure why that's not tied in with the first feature, but still, an extra swimming speed, no problem. I say 9 out of 10 for that as well. So, simple, effective, sea people. Nothing wrong there. The other gnome subrace we get in this book is a little more creative. They are the Wyrd gnome. That's spelled W-Y-R-D, Wyrd? Anyway, this race is a little bit more of a natural diviner. They get a +1 to their wisdom, a good one for your skills, a little more niche when it comes to magic. For a +1, I give that 6 out of 10. Additionally, they have the natural diviner trait. This grants them the cantrip Guidance, arguably the best cantrip in D&D. They also, when they have spell slots appropriate to the level, can cast Identify and Augury, so effectively utility, roleplay, and fortune-telling spells, you use your wisdom to cast them, and you can cast them once per day with once per long rest. The feature is fine. I'd say that this is completely utility based. Obviously, augury and identify are puzzle solving skills or spells, and guidance is great pretty much throughout D&D. And I honestly say that simply getting guidance by itself is amazing. Throw the other ones in there as little helpful ribbons when you need them, and I say this is 10 out of 10. This is really good. The other thing you get is called prescience, and this one's awesome. You get to roll a d20 and save the roll, just like the divination wizard. It's portent power. Now you can just do one die, so if you get a low roll, that would be good for using on an enemy to help them fail their saving throw. And if it's a high roll, you can help an ally succeed on a critical attack or save. These are good. And you get to use one per long rest. And then there's a little bit of an extra thing in here that if you live in a community of other Wyrd gnomes, so the folks that the same race as you get to add to this d20 roll. Basically, the idea is that if there are 20 of them within a mile of you, you can add a +1 to the roll, and this goes up every 20 of them up to 100, which gives you the +5 to the roll. So you can use this to boost the saved d20 in case you really want it to help your allies save themselves. Obviously, that is complete roleplay based on whether you live in a community of these gnomes. But I love the idea that there's 100 people or gnomes that live in a community that all have this ability that once per day, if they see someone failing at something or they are about to fail at something, they can just make themselves succeed almost invariably. The +5 to the roll would be phenomenal. And just having a whole community do it, it feels like this would be one of the most successful towns out there. But regardless of the roleplay potential, having a single portent point, a save d20 roll, is a phenomenal power. The Divination Wizard's one of the most powerful wizards out there, and this is a fraction of that power in a race. If these guys became diviners, it would be utterly and transformative. And I think that this is well worth a 10 out of 10. Between the Shoal race and the Wyrd race, the Subraces of the gnomes here present cool alternatives to the forest, rock, and deep gnomes. I give them both 9 out of 10. I think that they are great at what they do. I think that the Wyrd gnome is right on the cusp of 10 out of 10 with their 2 powers. But keep in mind, they are also inheriting the regular gnome features, so, I think they're great, and I think if you're going to play a gnome, that either of these could fit right into any D&D campaign. Just have a chat with your dungeon master if one of their styles of play sounds fun to you, because I think it would make a fantastic addition to your game. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, as well as a link that I'll leave to the Tome of Heroes, a fantastic supplement to D&D 5e, written by Kobold Press. I highly recommend you check it out for yourself. Have a good one, my friends.